How's everybody doing today? Today we're going to talk about, first of all, this Andrew Sundberg thing happened here in Minneapolis and the craziness that Black Lives Matter is going to pull, in our opinion. And then we're talking about just the craziest topic right now, this Roe V Wade being overturned and our personal feelings on it. So without further ado, let's start with Alec.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Goldberg Show. Devin, how's it going?
It's going good. It's been a little bit. We've been busy again, but
A
lot of stuff's happened since we recorded last.
Yeah, so let's jump right into Andrew Tekle. His name Andrew, nicknamed Tekle Sundberg. This incident, I believe, happened on Thursday, and the man, a 20-year-old man, was fatally shot at 4:30 in the morning. And at first, little detail, of course, the media ran with it and just said an innocent man. But from what I understand, from what was happening was this man, this young adult, was shooting a pistol at his ex-girlfriend, and she was in the cause of two of her kids.
Two of her kids, yeah.
I don't know how much detail is on with the ex-girlfriend yet. Do we know that? I mean, we have a video that we're going to share with you guys.
All the stuff I did, all the research I did, I really just can't find a whole lot of details. His family's talking about how he was in a mental health crisis and how it shouldn't be a death wish and all of this stuff, but they haven't really came out with why he was going into a mental health crisis, if you want to call it that, you know.
Right.
Which we'll dive into a little bit deeper after we show you guys this video, which is basically her just saying, you know, her justification, because she was the one that called the cops on this, that started this chain of events. So I think personally it's up for everyone to decide how they feel about it. You know, with this going on, like we just talked about before we started recording, this happened in Minneapolis, the same place this George Floyd thing happened, obviously this is going to be a little edgy for a lot of people in that city because they think that they were wrongfully, you know.
Well, they already defunded their police. I mean,
yeah.
What else do they want?
People don't understand that defunding the police doesn't stop crime.
Oh, no.
There's only one thing the criminals like more than money, and it's cops that aren't around.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go ahead and pop that video up real quick here.
And the craziest thing about all of this, which pisses me off, is there's a Devin, you told me, there's a GoFundMe page for this fucker. And if the story is true, wherever he was shooting at his girlfriend, let's see.
Right here, shot into this woman's apartment while she was.
My black kid is in the car. He tried to kill me in front of my kid. He tried to kill me in front of my kid. He tried to kill me.
All this video irks me. This guy right here shot into this woman's apartment while she was there with her kids, and in a 6-hour standoff with law enforcement, got killed by police. Now, all these protesters are outside marching and rallying for him outside her apartment building. All because this guy happens to be black, you got to go march and rally for him, even though he could have killed a single mother and her children. Think about how simple you have to be thinking that just because he has black skin, some people think that he needs to be defended. You play stupid, dangerous games, you win stupid, dangerous prizes. And this woman has a black child. And they're here all in the name of what? Black Lives Matter, apparently? I don't know how much more evidence anybody needs to know that this woke stuff is garbage.
Yeah, and the thing is, the left will always defend the wrong side, and it's starting to get really old.
It just blows my mind. You know, I can tell you with great certainty that the cops that shot him were not looking at the color of his skin as they were the safety of the community. People think that the police officers are singling out them. They don't give a flying fuck if you're black, white, purple, whatever you are. Their whole job when they clock in the morning and before they clock out and that time in between is to make sure their community, the communities that they live in, are the safest they can possibly be. This whole hypocrisy about cops singling out black people is just the narrative is so overplayed to me.
It is. Yes.
We talked about this every time we have something that happens like this. We talk about, oh gosh, what is Black Lives Matter gonna do now? And if you see in the corner of that screen where they were talking about it, they're talking about the chain commanders that Black Lives Matter are laughing now because this isn't even something they had to fake to get the attention. This is something that just
Right.
generically fell in their lap, and they're ready to make millions
Oh,
of
and-
dollars off of this.
Guess what? We'd seen it 2 years ago, the Summer of Love, with the riots, and I guarantee this is going to spark more attention. It's almost like it's almost like reoccurring, like ever since Michael Brown. Well, I guess we could really even go back to the 90s with
The LA riot.
Yep. I mean, it's just getting old. It really is. It just
So
gives people the reason to burn, loot, and murder. That's my definition of BLM is.
You have Michael Brown. You have Philando Castile, which was, I believe, also in Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
The one that was in New York. I can remember his name. I think it's Freddie something.
There's
then
one
you
down
have-
in. There's one in Tennessee.
Yeah, and then you have Georgia. Sorry, you have the George Floyd one there in Minneapolis. And then you have.
There was another incident with a girl. She was holding a knife, and the cop shot her.
Mm-hmm.
I forget her name, but people were freaked out about that. I mean, it's really getting old. But then here's what really makes me mad. There are people out there that will cheer whenever, if it wasn't a black person that a cop shot. Or, you know what I mean? Like, if a cop shot a white person, people would be, like, applauding that, which is totally, I don't know. It's just backwards to me.
So people think, and I say people when I talk about this in this situation, people who are anti-police, people who are Black Lives Matter, generally liberals in this case, because they fit both of those requirements right there, think for some reason that cops get this sick pleasure from shooting people. I've seen numerous videos. Stop running at me, stop running at me, stop running at me. And then the cop shot him, and those cops are crying. Those cops have to go to a psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
There is not a person that enjoys having to kill someone to that magnitude.
Right.
And people don't understand. People think just because cops are cops that they're licensed mercenary murderers. And that's just absolutely ridiculous, you know?
No. And the biggest thing is that people don't realize is they take an oath whenever they're sworn in. And the oath is to serve and protect. And every cop I know is some of the most genuine people. I mean, I have a buddy that I met whenever I used to work at Aldi, and he's a policeman now, and he's just one of the most down-to-earth guys, and he's really just a good person. And
There's going to be bad people in any profession.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, there's bad plumbers, there's bad electricians, there's bad politicians, there's bad teachers, there's bad daycare. I mean, I can name off 1,000 professions. You know, and when you talk about the job itself of being a police officer, it's a stressful job.
Oh, 100%.
If you're
it would be scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. Imagine if you were a police officer in downtown St. Louis. Like, that would be scary.
A lot of them are 219 is because it's that terrifying.
Oh, and it's that bad. That's what's even worse.
I
actually seen something.
Job.
I seen something last week. It was job openings for police departments in the St. Louis metro area. So for St. Louis City, it was 76 openings. Yeah. St. Charles County, 26, and O'Fallon, 7.
Yeah.
But 76 job openings, like, that is a tremendous number. Like, that is like.
When you look at the pay difference just between O'Fallon, where we live, and St. Louis City, we're talking $25,000, $30,000 a year difference in pay.
Wow, really?
Because when they defunded the St. Louis City Police by everyone's good friend Kim Gardner and Rashad Jones.
And Cori Bush.
Cori Bush. Yeah, I mean she's
Cori Bush. I can't stand her.
But she was
the reason because of that.
But she's not as bad as Kim Gardner, Rashad.
She's part of the squad or the squid squad.
Yeah, whatever they call it with AOC and Alon Omar and the other girl from two of those. The two Muslim congresswomen are actually from Minneapolis, where we're talking about.
Oh, they're gonna be barking.
This thing.
Barking like a dog.
Cori Bush, you have all. We could go off on tangents about all our bad congressmen and women, and all of our bad U.S. senators. But when it comes to it, Cori Bush is definitely top of the list as to bad. I don't think she serves her constituents very well for the state of Missouri. But her district, I guess, sure, because her district is St. Louis City. She is a U.S. Congresswoman who represents at a federal level the city of St. Louis. She doesn't. She's not our representative. I mean, I guarantee you.
I know, but she's just. I seen a billboard sign for her today, and I was just like, oh, give me just a second, I can eat.
Probably the same one I saw today.
Is it down off 170?
I live in 170.
Yep.
Yeah. Right there by the big old solar plant. That's the only one they got. She doesn't have to spend that much on campaigning because she runs unopposed. No Republicans running downtown against her because it's a losing battle every time. I'm sure we could look it up and we could figure it out, but I guarantee you a Republican has not won that seat in 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah, you're probably right. I can see it. Yeah. It's because people downtown just want free money, and for some politicians, it's probably easier for them. Oh, we'll give you out welfare checks. We'll give you out disability checks, whatever the case may be, and they just feed into it. I mean,
it's not so much just free stuff.
We could really get deep into it.
It's about government. It's about government dependence. We talk about inner cities. We talk about they get free phones and free cable TV and food stamps and rent Section 8 and all welfare
socialism.
Checks.
Socialism.
It goes so much more beyond that.
I know.
I'm sure you've heard me say this, and anyone who's listening to this podcast that knows me from my work knows that I say all the time, I'm working my ass off because millions on welfare depend on me. And I wish I was joking when I said that. Imagine if tomorrow all the union carpenters and all the Teamsters and everyone just quit working. The government would start freaking out because they can't take our money anymore.
I'm repping my local right here.
Yeah, I don't wear my Teamsters hat.
Yeah, I don't even go to my union meetings. I mean,
nope.
They're so one side, and it's funny. I don't want to get too off topic, but I like to share a quick story. It's a lot of the older guys in my union are very Democrat. They just are one-sided, and they're the type of people that stick their nose to it. Like, they're not willing to, like, look other ways. And the thing I like though is the younger group, like 35 and younger, are all very, very conservative. So I think for the unions,
like that.
I think it has potential for my union to make the flip within 15, 20 years.
I don't understand how the unions are going to endorse the Biden-Harris. Like, my Teamsters union already endorsed Biden-Harris for 2024.
What?
And every guy I've talked to that's a Teamster, whether that be local 682 or local 37 or whatever, or 50 over there in Illinois, they're not Biden people. Only the people in the hierarchy of the unions, and I'm sure it's the same way with the Carpenters Union, are the ones that actually like it. How many union carpenters have you met that are Biden-Harris? One or two?
I think
maybe?
one or two.
Yeah. And you've met, we'll say, I'll give you a high number, 150 different union carpenters. If 100 of them, if 2 of them like it, that's like what, 5%?
Yeah. Not even.
Or 2%. Sorry, 2%. I'm an idiot. My math was way bad there. If you met 2 out of 100 you've met, that's 2%, which is super low. But so let's go ahead and make a jump here. We're going to talk a little bit about the overturning of Roe v. Wade.
All
so
right,
you want to kind of start off talking about how you feel about this from a personal but also kind of a political level. Are you happy to see it gone? How did you think it was time for it to happen? What's kind of the gist of how you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm definitely pro-life. Like, I don't want people to get the wrong impression. I'm pro-life 100%. I think it was the right thing to be done. But I think a lot of people – I think it's easier for me to have a conversation about abortion with a man. It's hard for me to have a conversation about abortion with a woman just because, like, I don't know how their body – like works. Like, I know how a man body works. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's hard for me to have an abortion conversation with a woman, honestly. But I'm glad to see it because I do believe in opportunity of life. For those that don't know, I was adopted from Russia, so in my stance, like if you can afford a child, I think the adoptive care system would be a great benefit for any child or anyone that can afford or can properly handle a child. But I think they deserve opportunity.
So for me, it's such a complicated issue. So you talk about, and I agree with you 100%. It's easier for us to talk about it as men than it is to talk to women about it. I actually had a great opportunity on 4th of July. I did a walk for our good old buddy Nick Schroer. And I kind of, really didn't know a whole lot of people. So I kind of networked a little bit, got to talk to a couple ladies, and they were talking about it. And they do a lot of work with at the SCCPA locally, the school board thing. But I was talking to them.
Okay.
And they're like, I said, it's not really my opinion on this because I'm allowed to have a political opinion, obviously. But from a personal level, it's really not my business in a sense. So they said, it absolutely is. Because the problem with when you talk about pro-abortion is you're taking the choice of a man's child away from him as much as you're taking it away from the females.
Right. And that's not talked about at all.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's such a taboo subject, and it shouldn't be. If I were, say, to talk to my girlfriend about it, my girlfriend came to me before and said, hey, I'm pregnant, I would like to get an abortion, it would be a comfortable conversation with me because I could explain to her that this is something that you're going to regret for the rest of your life. See, the problem I have with this whole demonization of abortion is there's no remorse for what you did, okay? Anyone you talk to, these protesters you see, they'll kill a baby and have no remorse for it. That's the sickest thing to me.
It is.
I was telling you before we started, I went to the pro-life rally for Nick Schroer and Missouri Right to Life, which is a great organization. I got to talk to the guy who runs it. Great guy. Very centered, lives out here in Florissant. Super Catholic guy, super cool guy. Can't talk highly enough about him. But there was protesters there, and they're chanting things like, keep your Bible off my body. We won't have sex with you anymore. Well, your hairy armpits make me not want to have sex with you. You look like a man. Like, that's just how I feel about half these women. And it's crazy. If you want to see the video, you can find it on Facebook. Bruce Petrov is running for local county seat out here in St. Charles County. He was a super cool guy. I talked to him about the pro-life thing. But do you have any other thing you want to kind of add about this abortion talk so I don't just sit here and yammer about it?
Well, no, I think you should tell the incident of what happened with your truck.
Oh, absolutely. I forgot about that. I apologize. So I took my dad and my oldest brother out there, and there was a couple people. There was probably 50, 60 people maybe, and I might be exaggerating these numbers a little bit. It probably seemed like more than it actually is, but there was a lot. So we went inside. We did the rally. It was super great. We got to listen to Dr. Bob Under talk and Nick and a deacon from the St. Patrick Church in Cottleville. It was a really good event, good networking event. And so we were leaving, and there was two cops that were sitting out there, and they're watching, and they're just like, I pull out, they're like, just go, 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 don't stop, just keep going. And I pulled out. They pulled out. They stepped out in front of me. My dad got mad because he's like, you should have slowed down. I said, I'm just trying to get the fuck away from them. Like, I don't want to hit someone. Like, if they're going to step out in front of my car, they're not going to step in front of the car doing 20 miles an hour. I'm doing 5, they're going to step out, and they're going to hit my windows and stuff. So my dad was overall not happy with the way I dealt with the situation. But I'm not going to feed into.
You were breaking ankles.
Yeah, I honestly wish someone would have stepped out in front of me because it just not because I wanted to hurt someone, because it would just show how stupid these people are.
Oh yeah.
I have a V8 pickup. 100 people couldn't step out in front of that truck and stop it. You have the same kind of truck. How many people would it take to step in front of your truck to stop you? You're only fucking yourself over. You're only causing yourself pain. Maybe 30 people could step in front of a smart car and stop it and pick it up and move it and, damage you, but you're not stopping a V8 Chevy truck. No. So it just would have shown how stupid that they were.
You said that, or did they throw stuff at your truck?
Yeah, they threw it was like a cup of something. I don't know what it was, and and then they were throwing stuff at other people. When I was leaving, there was an elderly couple that came out, and they were like, yeah, they were throwing stuff at cars the last one they did, which I guess they had another one a couple months before at the same place.
Boy. I would be
and
so
I'm like,
pissed.
I looked at him, I said, just follow me. I don't got to plow my truck, but I'll run them over to get out of the way. The thing is people know this.
Where was this at?
This was at 18th North Central out here by the Peterbilt dealer in O'Fallon.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the road. I wish I could remember. It's like Cool Springs Drive, I think. I think that sounds right.
Yeah.
But people think that as the way we are as conservatives, we're just these crazy yelling, screaming, wearing, Make America Great Again hat, which I guess in this case you have a Trump flag and I have the hat. But the people that you see at these events, the people you see at these events are not like us.
No.
90% of the people I saw at this event, I wouldn't have guessed. They're just normal people that want to do the same thing that we're doing, just be involved in the community and do the right thing, both morally and politically. There was a guy there in a motorcycle vest that had a dachshund inside of his motorcycle vest. And it was sitting like this, and the dog just sat there during the whole thing, and then he got on his trike, his Harley Davidson motorcycle trike, and they drove away at the end of it. Big old guy, awesome. Big old gray beard. I look like he hasn't showered in weeks, but he's in this Nick Schroer event talking about, I guess he's a city council somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, Nick Schroer is awesome. I mean, me and Devin have met him before, and
I've met him hundreds.
He supports us 100% too. He's always, and we're always there for him. I mean, 100%. But I want to jump back.
Help him.
Yes. I want to jump back over to this Andrew case. So something that I think that's odd though about this whole situation is they're asking for police footage, but why they said it was 2 snipers. Okay.
2 for the county SWAT.
Right. Why would 2 snipers randomly kill someone? I mean, this isn't a normal cop. It was a far away distance. Like, obviously something had to be going on.
So I did a little bit of research on this before we started talking about it because, when you brought this up to me, I had heard about it. I hadn't really done any research into it because, like the fool I am, I didn't think that Black Lives Matter was going to jump on top of this. But apparently they're going to jump on top of this and push this pile of shit down the hill. So I looked it up, and basically, essentially, the mother is saying that the cops told her that they were not going to kill her son, that they would use rubber bullets. Well, this breaks down to something that 99% of the people that are going to talk about this don't understand, and it's the rules of lethal force. Did he step out on the balcony and point a gun at a cop? Did he say something? At what point it took them to use lethal force is something that 99% of us are never going to know. So you can't judge something that you don't know the full details on. Now, personally, you step out on a balcony with a gun in the situation that he was in, you're getting shot. I 100% endorse that. Have you ever been firing shots through windows and you step on a balcony and they see a gun in your hand and they tell you once to drop it and you don't? I mean, it's firing range time because you don't know what that person's going to do. Over. And that sounds really cruel, but I'm going to be blunt about it. People can disagree with me.
It's not cruel. It's reality.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the way the world functions.
Exactly. And it goes back to yin and yang. The philosophy, remember that thing? You need violence in the world, then you also need people to control violence. Well, it's the whole philosophy.
If you boil it down to the simplest way I can explain it, if I kick in your front door with a handgun, how many times are you going to tell me to drop the gun before you just blast me in the chest? Once? Twice? Once? You might give me one time. Same situation.
No word, not a single word's coming out of my mouth.
Yeah. It's plain and simple. It goes around the saying, people are going to fuck around. They're going to find out what happens.
Devin, how crazy do you think it's going to get with the whole BLM group?
Ooh.
I mean, we've seen them obviously get ecstatic, but I mean, this is a whole dude. I'm telling you, I know when something's going to happen. I was calling bullshit on the election, and people were saying I was crazy, and some of the stuff that I did say ended up coming out to be true. I think this is going to turn into a shit show.
I don't think it's going to be like we saw the George Floyd thing. Obviously, they've already gotten their anger out about that. This is a whole different kind of situation. There's not multiple angles of someone kneeling on his neck and all that. We're just talking about a 20-year-old man who was in a mental health crisis, who made poor decisions leading up to his death.
So I guess the question is,
yeah,
if he was confirmed to be shooting at his girlfriend, how and when did he get a firearm? Like, if he was going through a mental health crisis, those are some questions that need to be brought up.
This apparently happened, so the timeline that I've seen is he was shooting at the apartment that she was in, and then she called the cops, and he went up to the apartment. He was in a 6-hour standoff, I believe. It was either 4 or 6 hour standoff. I think it was 6.
Yeah.
6 hours into a standoff, I feel like, in my opinion, if I'm a police officer, if I'm a commander, captain, whatever situation that's the leading, responsible party for this, to when to shoot, when not to shoot, 6 hours is a long time. The longer the time goes on, I think the more I feel that person has more proven themselves to be mentally unstable, and the more that they have the will to lose it all, to harm somebody.
Right.
And I'm sure statistically people are going to disagree with me, and I'm sure statistically probably I'm wrong, but there's so many variables in the situation that we're not going to know.
6 hours is a very long time.
We both looked it up. This might not be his first time. He might be a known name in the Minneapolis Police Department. Or the apartment might be known for having violent activity around it. It didn't look like a super nice apartment complex. Or drugs, yeah. There's so many variables, and that's when we talk about these Black Lives Matter situations, the important details always get left out. Like George Floyd died, but George Floyd was a known fentanyl seller. It had multiple.
And he was a woman beater.
On him. Yeah, and multiple violent felonies.
Yep.
But
again, the left likes to ignore that. They play the wrong side every time. Yeah. It's dumb and it's annoying, and I don't know what needs to be done for it to change.
From this whole thing, the situation. Did I think this man deserved to die? No. Do I understand why he died? Yes. There has to be a precedent set somewhere. If you're going,
I don't know, man. Like if he's shooting at a woman and 2 kids, I think he deserves it. I mean, I don't know. I have a different. I mean, I just have a different take on that. Yeah, it's just.
Does anyone deserve to die? Plain and simple.
No.
People deserve to die based on the actions and the precedents that they have set forth. And it's plain simple.
100.
It said that he was adopted from Ethiopia. I'm sure, he was a really smart kid and did really well in life. But people need to understand, you can make small mistakes that snowball into your death. It's common sense. Okay?
Right.
He could have been a straight A student. This could have been the first time he had a mental health crisis. But how he dealt with it is what caused him basically to have his own demise.
Mm-hmm.
In the situation of, I'll turn this to personal offense a little bit. A person who I know in school was an A+ student, the person I know that's an F student, they don't deserve to die any more, any less than the other. Okay? But based on their actions, they chose their own destiny in that situation. And that's what people are not understanding. They're thinking that just because he's black, he got shot. And that's the biggest problem with Black Lives Matter, which we've talked about off camera hundreds of times.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, and yet there are going to be people out there that throw up the flag or put up the black square saying justice for Andrew. It's stupid.
That's what's going to be the thing. It's going to be a hashtag thing by the end of the week.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Oh, something I like our viewers, and also I mentioned Steve Devin. So Dr. Anthony Fauci announces that he's going to retire before the end of the Biden. I messed that up. Before the Biden catastrophe.
catastrophe. Yeah.
Catastrophe.
Which hopefully
I was going for something there.
hopefully ends January 1st, 2024. But they still the election again.
I don't think so.
I don't think they're going to be capable of doing it.
No.
I don't think that they could bullshit their way into another fake election. I think that they.
But no, I'm happy that freaking narcissist, rat face, punk, dog slaying. I hate Anthony Fauci. Dude, I saw this coming. And you said it off mic. And what say Trump? I heard Trump might be running for president. And if that's the case and he wins the election, I think Mr. Fauci would be going to jail.
Hillary was supposed to go to prison for 4 years and she didn't. So that's my problem. Yeah. I like Trump. I agree with him. But he told me in his speech that Hillary was going to go to prison. It's a good thing that someone like her wasn't running the country because she'd be in prison.
Yeah.
And you know what? Everything else he did, I'll forgive him for it. But if I'm going to say a bold prediction, when Trump wins in 2024, when we can get back to $1.80 gas, I'll be happy with $1.80 gas in a couple months after he wins. If he puts Fauci in prison, we're going to see a whole different America. It's going to set a precedence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I keep talking about presidents in this episode, and I promise that's not because I just learned the word. But we're at the part of American cultural and society right now in general with this Roe V Wade thing being overturned and all these things and all these laws they're trying to pass. Presidencies are going to start getting set, and it's going to be far outreaching more than we understand right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
And it's crazy. I don't want to get back to the Roe v. Wade thing because I feel like we've talked about that enough, but that magnitude of something being overturned under the administration that we're under opens up so many doors in 2024 for other things that we disagree with to get fixed. If we can overturn Roe v. Wade under a barely majority Democratic, administration, with the Senate and the Representative and all that, imagine what we can do in 2024 if we can win back the House and the Senate and the presidency.
Well, so that's coming up in this year. Midterms.
I'm talking under Trump. Yeah, midterms, yes. Which we can talk about for a minute. Make sure you guys get out there and vote in the midterms.
Yep, November 22nd.
If you guys don't know who your candidates are, it's super easy to look up. You can look there's actually a website if you live here in Missouri, and I'm sure most states do it. You just type in your address, and it'll tell you who's your senator, who's your representative, your mayor, lieutenant governor, all that stuff, which everyone in Missouri is lieutenant governor and, and governor and everything's the same. But it'll tell you who your state rep is, who your state senator is, who your U.S. senator is, and who your U.S. representative is.
Mm-hmm.
So here locally, we have Nick Schroer, which is District 107. And we have Blaine Lukemeyer federally. Our state senator would be, I believe, Hawley. And obviously, we have all the same governor, same lieutenant governor.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Senator Hawley's awesome, too.
Yeah. I
love Senator Hawley.
Did you see his video the other day where the lady said that he was killing trans
about
people?
women? Yeah,
no,
about women.
By denying that there's trans people, that he is causing violence against them.
Oh, about how they're wanting to commit suicide.
And she said, you could come to my class sometime. You can learn a lot. And she's like an elementary school teacher.
Oh, God. That's so wrong. Jesus.
So basically she asked, and we don't have to get too deep in this because this whole society of trans rights blows my mind. Makes no sense. She asked him, can a man get pregnant? And he said, no. Why is that? Because only women can get pregnant. And then she directly says, on video, talking to a U.S. senator, you're the one that is causing violence against trans people. By denying the existence of trans people, you are. I think she even uses the word insurrecting or whatever they call about the January 6th thing. That he is causing violence to these people by denying the fact that trans men can get pregnant.
That's just people get their feelings hurt. Jesus, grow a pair.
So here in Missouri, we have Roy Blunt is retiring, terming out, whichever one it is. You have Eric Greitens, Eric Schmidt, Vicky Hartzler, Billy Long. Oh, I forgot the other person's name. I just forgot it. I don't remember. There's another person. But those 4 people, 2 of them will get my vote. Not a big fan of Vicky Hartzler. Not a big fan of Billy Long. I think Billy Long's like the Mars man or something. He's like a candy bar man. Looks like he sells candy bars. Talks real fast. Handlebar mustache. Don't like his politics. But we've talked about before off mic the difference between Eric Greitens and Eric Schmidt and how we both kind of like them equally.
Yeah.
So since we talked about this last, do you have any insight for our listeners or viewers about who you're leaning more towards right now?
To be honest, I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't really gave it thought. But now that I'm on the spot, I guess I'd go towards Greitens more.
Yeah, I'm Schmidt.
But I think me and you are a different type of the conservatives. I mean, I think we're pretty similar.
Oh, very close.
Very close, but there's just maybe some differences. Like there's like we said on the last episode. I said, in my opinion, if they wanted, which I don't know how I truly feel, but maybe a CCW course before someone buys a gun, just one and done. Before you buy your first firearm, just a CCW course. That way you know how to operate it and don't blow your head off.
Well, so what I can tell our listeners, our viewers, about the difference between Schmidt and Greitens is, from my personal reflection, what Schmidt's done as our Attorney General and what Greitens did as governor and what they both kind of say on Twitter. Greitens is more of a Trump guy. Mm-hmm. That's a good thing and that's a bad thing, okay? You know what I mean? Super pro-Trump, always been a Trump guy. He's more of in your face, let's get shit done, let's talk about it, you're wrong. Schmidt is more of a law standpoint. That's what I like it. You talk about him suing these school districts for critical race theory, for COVID policies. To me, that stands more for Missourians and their constituents, as much as I hate to say that, than Greitens' in-your-face conservative policies. Mm-hmm. Greitens absolutely has my vote. If Greitens wins the primary August 2nd, 100% will vote for him. But I'm like 60-40. I'm 60% for Schmidt, 40% for Greitens.
Yeah.
So just to kind of explain the differences, and a lot of our viewers and listeners can go look at the differences. Greitens got cheated out of his governorship, so we don't have a whole lot of political history to really go off on him about, to learn about him, because he got cheated with this scandal that allowed Mike Parsons to be our governor.
Yep.
But I think Schmidt's done an outstanding job as our Attorney General. With all that, I think I just talked about the lawsuits and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, Devin, is there anything else you want to talk about in this episode?
Just make sure that people watch our next episode, because it's going to be a good one.
Yep, we're going to have a special guest on next episode that me and Devin are happy to bring on. And so with that being said, we will catch you guys soon.
Have a good day, guys.